Focusing on life here in and around Whitley County. You're listening to Mondays with the Mayor on WJHS 91.5. Now, Mondays with the Mayor.
Whatever it is that you want to do.
Things. So are we calling this the What's on the Horizon episode of Mondays with the Mayor?
Yeah, we can talk through that for sure. And again, we have, like I said, we have a lot of planning that's underway right now. So let me try to get that close because
expectations.
Maybe it's in my other
expectations, or your one ear's just going more deaf than the other.
Maybe that's it.
Hey guys, it is Mondays with the Mayor here on WJHS 91.5. Once in the room, we are actually studentless. Normally we have students in to ask questions and in Pepper, Mr. Ryan Daniel, the Columbia City Mayor, like to talk what's going on in Whitley County, what's going on with the city, changes, updates, events, and happenings, and all of that. But you know what? Well, we can do this without them. We don't need them. It's going to be fun. So plenty is going on. A lot is pending or in development. Yeah. And it's kind of just nice to have that expectation. I love it when... So we talked to hey, there's new restaurants coming into town. And I remember when we first said, rumors of Starbucks and rumors of Culver's were on the way. And this was, I think it's coming up on an anniversary of Mondays with the Mayor. And I'm glad we could do this to talk about things that are happening in the community. Of course, now, Culver's is all old news. And I've sworn off ever eating ice cream ever again for 3 times in a day. Yeah. Shout out to all of our new restaurants that are opening and changes that are happening and stuff like that, and little building and construction process. Okay, so let's talk about the latest and greatest thing, because my wife's a painter, and so she's excited for this. Tell me about the latest happening in Columbia City, if you would, Mr. Mayor.
Yeah, so thankfully last year I worked with the city council and we were able to create the Columbia City Arts Commission, which effectively is I think it's a 7-member board of individuals that get together on a monthly basis. Certainly they could meet earlier than that. Yeah. But at the end of the day, their focus is to, enrich and augment the great things that are happening in the arts in Columbia City and certainly in Whitley County, abroad, if you will. But long story short on that is I think it's a really great addition. They are working. They met one time in January. They're meeting here in February, and those are all open to the public, by the way. They meet on the
Columbia City Arts Commission.
Yes, Columbia City Arts Commission.
We're not going to abbreviate that to CAC.
The CCAC?
The CAC. It's the CAC.
It's the CAC. Okay. But really their focus point is to try to enrich and expand the arts in Columbia City, which I think is a great thing for our community.
Especially if you're in that world, I think it's just nice to be able to have that public view. Heck, Columbia City, you drive through town and you can feel kind of hey, our town has murals, our town has stuff. Yeah. We care about how things look and feel, and not just on the buildings, but I think that bleeds into all areas of life that can feel very, very nice. Do any rumors of what they plan on? Are they launching a festival? Are they bringing the Eagles to Eagle Park? Or Foreigner, or do you know any rumors? I don't know if you're directly involved in that.
So keep in mind they as of the recording of this, they've met once. Yes, the second meeting should be happening soon. But long story, I think overall what they're planning is how can we find more activities and opportunities for individuals, residents, kids in our community to engage with the arts. So I could imagine that being a festival of some sort downtown. I could imagine that being, in partnership with the
either First Fridays,
farmers market, things like that. Try some dance out, try some different musical instruments, things like that, chalk walk, etc. So I know they're really looking at that. There's been a lot of really cool things that other communities around us have done when it comes to the arts, bronze sculptures and other kinds of things that they're all looking at. But they're a really engaged group that are already doing a lot of brainstorming of what that next step is going to be. And when you step back, there's a lot of things, artistic speaking, that are happening that's happening in Columbia City, whether it's
art related,
absolutely.
Adjacent.
I mean, obviously, we're at the epicenter of a lot of the arts in Whitley County and Columbia City here at the high school. But when you talk about the Whitley Arts Partnership, they're going to be doing I think Steel Magnolias this year for the summer musical play thing, I believe. And last year there was Seussical Jr. and there was Newsies that I got to be a part of, and that's just the theatrical part, but just lots of really cool things happening. We have a lot more in the art scene happening when it comes to artists and others like that. So it's a cool time to have it, and I think they will be there as a support for many of the cool things happening already.
And also open to collaboration and new ideas. So if you have an idea or want to be involved, like you said, the meetings are open to the public. I think just that wanting to unite in some way can be a lot more fun than if we're all divided or don't know what each other are up to and stuff like that. So that's great. Okay, because it's on my mind, because I was literally scraping snow still off of my vehicle that I keep parked behind the garage where the sun never hits. Tell me about snow removal. It's starting to pile up kind of in the corners. Literally the street corners. It's starting to become more like the sidewalks are overplowed. What's our approach this year? How's our salt looking? Yeah. How's Columbia City doing? How's the surrounding area?
Indiana winters. That is what we're in. And typically and historically, Februaries are the more challenging of the months of winter for us. We tend to see the larger snowstorms, and we tend to see a lot of the winter storms that come through in February. So there's a possibility that could happen at some point in the near future. But overall, snow removals, I think, been pretty good this year. We haven't had too many of those. We've had a lot of smaller snowfalls. We've had I think 1 or 2 larger snowfalls, but honestly, the bigger issue for us this year has been the icing, the kind of not necessarily freezing rain, but the melted snow that melts then freezes and snaps cold. All that kind of stuff. We've had, I think, 2 or 3 different rounds of that up to this point. So that's been the bigger issue. From a salt perspective, we're always over prepared for that. So when we have a not so terrible winter, we actually have extra supplies. So and that is the case currently. So we're in really good shape. We're in really good shape as the city in preparation for that. But yeah, I so far, knock on wood, so good.
I think we do pretty good at it.
Yeah, appreciate that.
Except when I wear my slick t-shirt, teacher shoes, walking through parking lots. I think we do great.
Yes. Well, and one other thing I should mention as a part of that is, individuals talk about both the city and the county, and keep in mind there's a difference there, right? So city plows the city streets, the state plows the county, the state roads, so 205 and 9 and 30 and 109, et cetera. But then the county has all those county roads, and sometimes many individuals can be a little harsh on the county because of their plowing, but they also have an extraordinarily large amount of roads they have to plow. So it takes a lot more time, and frankly, I think they have somewhere around the same staff that we have at the city as a number wise.
Yeah, you just look at the square miles that it's
significantly different, right?
Yeah, even if you're going 40 miles an hour with a plow, that's still going to take forever.
Well, and that's the other thing about the county. Keep in mind that in the city, yes, we have some wind tunnels, if you will, that through buildings and things like that. But when it's out in the county, drifting is a huge issue that is not as much of an issue in the city. So, but I'll tell you, this year we've had there's been great patience among our residents. We've not had too many issues with people blowing their snow back into the street. That tends to be an issue at times. And so I know that would seem common sense, but some people get a little frustrated when our plows go by and push the snow into their driveway, so they like to return the favor, which, by the way, don't do that. That is against the rules and against the law.
Off to the side, please.
Yes, off to the side. Usually you have a grass berm or you have a grass yard that would be able to help with that. But I just say all that to say we've had a really good year and appreciate the residents helping that.
There you go. Yeah. There you go. Okay. Speaking of streets, this was kind of cool. We were talking about this before the show started. Whitley County has plans, of course, for renewal of asphalt and kind of road repair. And it affects us all. We all hit that big bump, that little extra lump of cement as you go to turn into
Into
the
high
school. You know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly
right into the high school. You're looking at the sign. You're making a right. And you hit that extra little bump of cement that got left there from the building construction. The same thing happens with all the big old potholes, especially before they redid 30 crossing to go over to hit a Pizza Hut or whatever. Was bad.
Yes.
What is the latest and greatest? Because we got in Columbia City proper, of course, there's normally, you do a little bit of road construction every year, a little bit every day. Keeps the doctor away, as they say in the asphalt industry. And now something big, if you haven't, I'm not going to steal your thunder, share with us, because some kind of cool news.
Yeah. So we recently took bids for our kind of our street paving package for this year, and those we had an engineer's estimate of about $800,000 for that, and because asphalt prices, one of the few things that are dropping right now, but also a competitive market currently. Those bids came back at half of that engineer's estimate. And so what that does is that not only allows us to do the paving projects that we had to do, which are things like Market Street and Van Buren Street. There's a couple places on Van Buren Street and other things like that, but also allows us to do more paving. So we'll be looking at that and what other roads are really in need of paving that we're able to do. But want to throw a shout out and a thanks to the Indiana Department of Transportation, because we were able to get a community crossings grant that allows us to effectively triple or quadruple our money. So
quadruple.
Yeah. So it's great. It's a great thing for communities. It's a 75-25, so a split. So we put in 25% and they match it with 75% of the project cost. So up to $1 million. So it's great. And so we've had some good news, and we'll continue to do that. We also, by the way, on that same kind of note, are working on the next few phases of Westgate. We're doing the engineering to finish up the Westgate subdivision eventually. So
on the west side of
city,
north of 30, there is a whole new
south of 30.
I'm sorry, south of 30. That's
okay.
Whole section kind of planned out for improvements, upgrades.
Yes. We did the eastern section of Westgate this past year, and people there seem to be really pleased with it. That's curb, sidewalk, widened streets, stormwater, retention, things like that. So now we're looking at the rest of Westgate and the different phases that we'll be doing going into the future. Our hope is that next year will be the next section of Westgate that we can improve. We are looking at a lot of different stormwater techniques of trying to get rid of that. We originally had planned to take a big stormwater pipe basically and go down Van Buren Street to connect to Phillips Ditch. That proved to be extremely too costly for us. So we're looking at some other mechanisms and methods to be able to control that stormwater. But we keep planning for that, and it's good stuff, as you talked about, kind of forward thinking here. Right. There's a lot of things on the horizon. That's one of them.
Good infrastructure makes good cities.
Absolutely.
In this way, you don't end up with a place that you're going under a bypass and it's always flooded when it drizzles. That is awful. And so these decisions, this planning now, Columbia City 50 years from now will be thanking us, why did we put in a wider street? Mm-hmm. Why does the road kink here? Going south on line, I don't know, but it's little things like that really make a big difference. I got to sit down with my buddy a little while ago, and he's obsessed with city planning and how the terrain naturally falls and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
And how historically you followed rivers with where you would go. Horse and buggy days, though, so the roads tended to look like horse and buggy roads in and around rivers.
Yes.
And so modern city, fast forward a couple hundred years, all of a sudden you have cars driving on what used to be horse paths, and I don't know about you, but curves in the road, icy conditions, lights in people's eyes, doesn't make for great driving. So it's just kind of one of that wherewithal. You're like, hey, let's take our time. Let's do this right.
Yes.
Let's do this right.
Absolutely. And at the end of the day, the biggest issue is, especially for Westgate, is there are areas in the past that have been brought into the city and just were never treated like they should be, right? They didn't get curbs, they didn't get sidewalks, they barely got stormwater, if anything, and they had narrow roads that hadn't really been taken care of. And so at the end of the day, and that's not a slam on anybody, but that's just kind of what was brought in, and shame on us, I guess, for not doing things long term, but now we're trying to make that right. And those residents seem to be really excited about it. So
I think that's great. Okay. Cool. You talk snow removal. Yeah. You talk art commission. Yeah. coming in and do things. Quick shout out to the new screen printing place coming into Columbia City, veteran owned.
Yes, I saw that.
Hello to Whitley County Transit, listening to WJHS pretty much nonstop on their. I didn't know we had a transportation system. I thought that was fun. Kind of teamed up with that.
Yeah.
I guess I did know it just renewal, and it's nice to be able to get around when you need to repair your vehicle or are down a car.
Yes.
So a quick shout out to them. Hopefully you guys still have 91.5 on right now while you're driving around listening to this. We got our street package that we talked about. I got to catch up with Surf Internet.
Okay.
Surf Internet and their upgrades that they were happening. I put that interview, if you missed it live on the air, up on our YouTube channel. And speaking of things that are on the horizon for Columbia City, did you want to do a quick teaser for your Meet with the Mayor live here?
Yeah.
Did you want to talk about that so people can maybe go back as of the time that this show plays and find that?
If you don't know, I try monthly to have it what I call Lunch with the Mayor on my Facebook page, Mayor Ryan L. Daniel, and I really encourage individuals to check that out if you've not been a part of that. I think I actually even keep it open so that you don't have to be a Facebook member or whatever, right? But long story short is I think it's a really cool opportunity to catch up on things. I answer questions directly from our residents, and we talk about not only what's going on in the city and not only what events are coming up, but also some of the hot topics that are bubbling around the community, and really taking a future look so that our constituents are really the first to know what is happening in the community. So yes, we'd love people to tune in, and even if you miss the live version, you can certainly go back and watch it. There's a whole repository of Lunch with the Mayors, as well as City Council and Board of Works meetings that we also put on that page.
So you can catch up, see what other people are asking, and get a little bit more in depth on what other people are thinking, why they're asking the questions that they are, and kind of a more in depth. You're basically becoming a politician yourself, and running in the commission, and all the things in and around Columbia City. Yeah,
I learned early in this position, and keep in mind this is year 12 if you can believe it, but I learned early in this position that if people have an understanding of what's happening, if people at least have some concept of things that are happening in their community, two things happen. Number one, they can quickly shoot down rumors that happen in small communities like ours. And two, and maybe more importantly, is they tend to be more engaged and love their community more. Because if they know what's going on, they get excitement for those things, or they put input into those things, and there's buy-in into the community, which is, again, that's part of one of many reasons of why I think Lunch with the Mayor and this program, Mondays with the Mayor, and other things that we do, I think is so important to keep the community appraised of what's going on in this community.
I think it's great. So that being said, we do have a couple minutes left here. Yeah. Do you want to save updates for Eagle Park for next time?
Sure,
on Mondays?
We can absolutely.
Just wet people's appetites.
Yes.
Hey, is the doggy fence up yet?
Yes.
Can we start bringing? Are people finding old artifacts of a ancient school building that used to exist? Skate park,
pickleball court, all the things. Yes.
All the things. Yeah. Of course, more about that. ColumbiaCity.net. Check that out. That, of course, right there. Our guest today, the Mayor of Columbia City, Mr. Ryan Daniel. Thank you, as always, for joining us.
Thank you.
Check out our past episodes of Monday with the Mayor. We try and put those up on YouTube as well as audio only, so you can go about your day, do your dishes, eat your cereal, whatever it is you got to do. It's Mondays with the Mayor on WJHS 91.5. Hang out here in just a little bit. You will be catching up with our school board events, happenings, activities, and what's all going on crossing the superintendent's desk. That'll be here on WJHS 91.5, the third Monday of the month.